Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this, we can do this. I just did it again. Oh my god. That's pretty close, right? That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a 1-layer challenge. I know. And for someone that draws on 5 to 10 layers on every drawing, I think it's gonna be quite challenging. But I thought, why not make this even harder on myself and make it a 1-layer and no undo challenge. I don't know why I do this to myself. But I think it might be kind of fun. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. I'm kind of nervous. Okay, so to make things easier, I already chose a reference for today. What I had in mind at first, I was just gonna draw a simple portrait, but when I saw this reference, I thought it was really cute. I really liked it, so let's see how much of this I can get done in 1 layer. So I always start with a new canvas that is just the size of my screen. So first thing I always do is just make the background color anything but white, because that's really gonna mess with our colors later on. And let's just bring our reference in on Procreate. And since we're doing everything on 1 layer, that means we have to do the sketch on 1 layer as well, which I think is honestly the part that's making me most nervous about this, because I always make my sketch first and then underneath that sketch layer is when I add the colors, but not today. I will be using my loose sketch brush from my sketch brush set, which you can find in my Etsy and Gumroad. The link will be in the description below if you want to check that out. I'm always very picky when it comes with my sketch. I like a very detailed sketch when I'm drawing, so let's see how much I can do. Okay, so far I already pressed undo once by accident. I think it's like a memory thing, like muscle memory. I really should take my other hand off the screen so this doesn't happen again. But, God, it's so hard not to undo when you're so used to doing it. It kind of feels like I'm doing traditional art all over again. The good thing I can still do is use the transform and liquify tool. I don't know what I would do without him, especially right now. Okay, bangs are really not my forte, so I have such an urge of creating a new layer on top just to clean up the sketch, but can't do it. I also can't remember the last time I've drawn a portrait like directly facing forwards. I've drawn so many portraits in like the 3/4 view that I think I've forgotten how to draw this angle. So that definitely doesn't help. God, I haven't drawn hands in so long. It does look a little wonky right now, considering I can't undo. But I think it passes off as a hand. You know, it has 5 fingers, not like AI. This is so difficult. My goodness. Okay, what did you... Oh. I just did it again. Oh my god. I still have my eraser tool though. Can you imagine if I couldn't even use that? Impossible. The really annoying part is in this part of the process when adding those flyaway hairs, I usually use the undo button a lot to make sure that I'm drawing like the perfect strand, but not today. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with this, and I'm honestly pretty proud of myself. Now comes the really hard part, which is putting the colors within the same layer. I'm really not looking forward to that. I really don't know how I'm going to color this, but we're going to try. So since we're working on one layer only, we should probably start with the background first, just to get that out of the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my little lasso tool here. So now that I selected just the character, the good thing is that we can draw anywhere but the character. So we can do our background still on the same layer, but we don't have to worry about coloring in the character accidentally. And normally I would do this process right underneath all the color layers, and since there's a bunch of lights coming in from the left side, I would probably use like a hard light layer or overlay and just kind of play around with that, but we can't do that, so we gotta make the most with what we've got. I drew that wrong. Oh my god, I almost hit the undo button, but I caught myself. We're doing better, guys. We're learning. This is a lot harder than it looks. Like, if you've never tried it before, give it a try. The one layer challenge might be easier for some of you guys, because I know some people like to work with less layers, but try drawing with no undo. That is really what's messing me up. Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this, we can do this. That's pretty close, right? That's pretty close. That's pretty close. So I think the best way to do this is just to kind of keep a light pressure on the pen, on the brush pen. To keep a light hand, like light pressure on the pen itself. So you're not coloring in all the way, but you can still kind of see those sketch lines because I'm going to need them still to fill everything in. Okay, after playing around with some colors, I think this is the closest that I can make it look like this without using any like special overlay layers. Honestly, if I would have had the other layers, then it would have looked a lot better, but this doesn't look that bad. This was looking so good before I did that. That's a lot better. You guys hear that? It's thundering outside. So I had to take a break because the sun went down, but we're back. And this is so far what we have. I don't love how the face turned out. I think her eyes are far apart or something about it is just weirding me out. And also besides the bangs that are kind of hard for me to get right. But besides that, I think everything else looks pretty good. So I think I'm just going to kind of work on this as fast as I can. So now that we've already added these kind of highlights, I feel like the drawing is coming together, and I'm trying to keep the highlights more of like a cool shade and the shadows more warm. And there's still quite a bit to go. I finally finished the bangs that were really bothering me, but I think they look good. Okay, so now the dress is looking more pink than anything, which I'm not complaining. It looks kind of cool. It still feels white, but the shadows are pink. Like, it's not boring when you look at it. Like, it's not just grays and whites. I almost clicked undo again. Oh my god. Okay, so to be honest, I had a really hard time rendering the dress. I didn't want it to look too detailed or too rendered, and I didn't know how to make it look a little bit more simplistic without leaving it completely unfinished. So after working on it for a while and getting a little frustrated, not knowing what to do, I ended up using the Gaussian blur tool and applied it to the bottom of the drawing where the dress sits. So that's a little tip for you guys. Work smarter, not harder. I also had a lot of fun painting this drawing in general, but especially at the very end right now, adding the different lighting, especially on the hair. It really makes the drawing pop and make it look a little more alive. I would usually do this adding a soft light layer on top, but I kind of figured out how to do it on just this one layer. And here we are adding the final highlights to the face. And here is the final painting, you guys. I can't believe we made it all the way, honestly. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be, but it did take longer than usual. What I really thought was the hardest part of this challenge was that it kind of got me thinking a lot more about which colors I had to use. So normally I would just throw on a couple layers on top of my base color layer, and I would have like a multiply one for shadows, overlay, and hard light, soft light to add some like interesting colors to her face and her dress and all that. But with this challenge, I couldn't really do any of that. It really got me to start thinking a lot more about which colors went together and what colors would fit best. So if you haven't tried this challenge before, I really recommend it. I really hope you guys liked it. Here is the end result once again. Don't forget to like and let me know in the comments below what other art challenges you want to see from me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.